Oh, I'm Trevor Boria. We don't need that building anymore. This explosion was bigger than I thought it would be. You know what? We still needed the ground underneath it, though. Oh, I never built a kitchen inside the new base. Today, we're setting up our underground fuel rendering for our new furnace. Let me show you what I've done so far. I mean, this is a furnace. But over here, we have a hole. A much bigger hole than we needed. So, we're gonna use our mining tool, and we're gonna carve out more, and we're gonna use our terrain manipulator to put it back as I make mistakes while I try and figure out what this is gonna look like. I think we're just gonna do hydrogen down here. We need to learn an elevator too. I've never built an elevator before. Elevators made in the electronics printer. That's weird. I thought, doesn't matter. Let's go check it out. You just put it down. The whole thing comes assembled, man. That's awesome. We don't have to do anything else. Oh, I mean, we have to hook it up. Power and logic. What kind of logic you think an elevator needs, man? Do I gotta program this whole thing? No, you don't. You just stack it like Lego and add power. I don't know what the logic's for. I don't care. I don't care what the logic's for. It just works, man. I guess I better go get working on that hole. I did a whole bunch of stuff, and we're gonna look at it, because I don't like any of it, and we're gonna change it. So I've been at this all day. We're not gonna show you any of that, because it wasn't very interesting. We're just doing hydrogen in here, obviously. We have insulated tanks, but we also have rats to warm up the gases that we're creating out of ice. I guess we should go look at that. So we've got 2 ice crushers. They go to a tank. That tank goes to rads. Those rads go to filtration. And then from there, they're separated into more tanks. And then they go to a gas mixer. And that gas mixer goes to a bigger tank. And that bigger tank goes to a pressurizing regulator. The word I'm looking for is regulator. And that's cool, but that means we also need AC down here, which I started to plumb in. However, I don't think we need any of that. I think I have a better idea, but this is cool. Let's look at this. We have this little window, and the rads are out here. But also, we go around this corner, and up here is a shaft? Ventilation shaft, I guess? And that is... dun 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 dun, where the old building used to be. So that's cool. I don't know. I was real happy about that, but I think we're gonna phase all that out. I don't want to have to use rads. I don't want to have to use an AC. I don't even think we'll need an airlock, and I want an automated fail-safe system. So I've built the first third of our fuel system. We have an ice crusher that goes to a tank with a pipe, and we've put a passive drain on it, which I don't know if we'll need, but we'll see, won't we? And that tank goes to this filtration, which goes to that tank. And of course, we have our waste gas, which in this case will be nitrogen that we don't want in the tank. Off this second tank, we have a cable. And off our filtration, we have 2 cables, which go to this circuit. The same circuit we do every time. Logic reader, logic writer, compare unit memory. Logic reader in is the small tank. Variable is the pressure. Logic writer in will be the logic compare unit. Out's gonna be that filtration, and out variable is on. Compare unit 1 is logic reader, out is less, and 2 is the memory. For testing purposes, we've set the memory at 1,000, when all actuality we'll probably be using 4,000, or 4 megapascals. So our goal here is that when that tank hits 4,000 kPa, it'll shut that filtration system off and it won't explode. My thinking here is that because the whole system is insulated, it won't create condensation at all, which means there should be nothing for that passive drain to do and nothing to freeze and cause an issue. I also think we should have a pipe meter here so I can see what I'm doing instead of blowing something up. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge the backpack system I now use. Fairly self-explanatory. I have a bunch of colorful backpacks and they're all just filled with stuff that I use all the time. So I don't have to constantly go back to a printer to get things that I need. They're all right there, mostly. The second third of our fuel system, which is just an ice crusher and a tank, man. And a pipe meter. The Volatile Ice only has volatiles in it. There's nothing else in there, so we don't need to filter it. And again, the whole system is insulated, so it should not create condensation because there's no... I don't know. Feel free to write in the comments why that's not how condensation is created, but it's not creating condensation, so I'm not worried about it. I feel good about this, man. If you did want to use logic to turn off the ice crusher, logic writer out would be ice crusher. Okay, so now we've got oxygen and volatiles. We need a pipe mixer, man. We're gonna put it right here at the nexus point of all our pipes. Nexus point? This is a gas mixer. That's input 1, this is input 2. We're gonna use our labeler and punch in 33.3. I guess I was in on my sentence. It really sounded like I had more to say, right? To reiterate, input 1 oxygen, 33.3. Input 2 volatiles, 66.6. We're just gonna turn that on, man, and we're gonna see what happens. So it's just creating a stable fuel blend. No condensation, no freezing, no phase change whatsoever. You guys want to build an automatic shutoff for that gas mixer while we're here? Takes like 2 seconds, might as well. So we have a cable off our big fuel tank, cable off our pipe mixer, and they both attach right here underneath the same circuit we built earlier. And because I love repeating myself, logic reader, compare unit, memory. Logic reader in is the small tank. Variable is the pressure. Logic writer in is going to be our logic compare. Out is the gas sensor. Variable will be on. Compare unit 1 is logic reader. Out is less. 2 is memory. We've set it at 4,000. That doesn't matter. We're done with this now. I'm going to go build this down in the hole. You guys want to see what I've done? Doesn't matter. I'm going to show you anyway. This is my furnace. It's got a bunch of gauges off it. Love that. So our fuel comes up this pipe into this tank and then across the ceiling. I've left panels out so it'd be easier to see. Then it comes down here and goes into this turbo motor. Turbo motor? Turbo pump. Into this expansion tank. Through this pipe analyzer. Into the furnace. Also has this little valve in case I don't want to pressurize. Doesn't matter. We don't care about that. That pipe analyzer is hooked up to this first console so I can see exactly how much fuel I'm working with. And then we have the other gauges we normally have on it. Pressure, temperature, hash display? That doesn't seem right. Hash display seems like something I would have, but I don't think that's the right word, man. And over here we have this junky furnace, which I've added all the consoles to and 2 turbo pumps so it works just like the advanced furnace. Why did I do that? I don't know. But our fuel comes from this tank and into that turbo pump, which is why we have this tank here. And that's gonna be for nitrous oxide, which is what this other turbo pump is about. But we don't care about that. We're not doing that today. I don't know when we're gonna do that. I don't know if it's worth it, man. And I have this delightful little setup off the second outlet of the furnace because I use ice to cool my furnace and to adjust the pressure inside it for certain recipes. Is it recipes when you're smelting something? That doesn't seem right. Anyway, it connects there, it goes there, it empties into that tank, and we have this little purge valve. For some reason, I don't know. It's never needed it, but I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And through here, we have our delightful little elevator that I learned how to make today. I've never used one before, I don't know why. Down to our fuel rendering area level, where I have a bunch of stuff we don't need still. But that's okay, because I kind of like the way it looks. So we have the 2 ice crushers, and I did leave drains off them. I don't know why. I just feel better about having them, to be honest with you. I don't know. Alright. That's our oxygen ice crusher. It hooks up to this tank because it has to be filtered, so that holds the nitrogen and the oxygen until it can go through the filtration system, which is hooked up to our lovely logic circuit, and into these tanks and then to our gas mixer. Right? And then we have all our volatile tanks, which also go to the gas mixer and into the big tank. Right now, everything's turned off because I got sidetracked by that airlock door problem I was working on the other day, which will be in a different video. Haha. And over here, we have an air conditioning unit we don't need, which runs under the ground. Like, I put a lot of work into it, and I'm just gonna leave it. I like the way it looks. I know it doesn't do anything, but I like the aesthetic of it. Now, I'm really happy about this whole thing I did over here. Haha, whole thing, right? Because whatever. Oh yeah, this airlock is useless too. We don't need that. Again, because everything's sealed and insulated. I'm gonna leave it. I like it. I mean, it might get changed later. I don't know. I feel like, again, I'd rather just have it and not need it than the thing I already said. And this whole area is useless too. But I spent a lot of time making sure the walls were all smooth and like the shape that I wanted. So I'm gonna leave it. And that was the end of that sentence, I guess. So now that that's done, this week, I'm gonna build a new indoor testing facility over here behind the furnace. I have more work to do on the big airlock doors. And I blew up my kitchen at the start of this episode. I haven't built a new one yet. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do all those 3 things before this weekend. And then on Friday, I fully intend to start Icy 10 coating. That's the end of today's episode. I'm gonna go play Cyberpunk because I watched Judge Dredd today. Thank you for watching my video. You have a good day. Not all gamers are pro.